Wellness Rhythm Show. Find your rhythm. Live your wellness.
Y'all, let me tell you something embarrassing. Last year, I was genuinely proud of myself for hitting some crazy high-protein target every single day. Like, I was tracking grams, buying giant tubs of powder, the whole thing. And then I read a study that basically said, hold on, not so fast.
Right, and that's exactly what drew me to this topic. Because the conventional wisdom, especially in fitness circles, has been more protein, always more protein. But some genuinely interesting research is now complicating that picture in a big way.
So today we are diving into what researchers are calling the protein paradox. The idea that how much protein you eat and when you eat it might matter completely differently depending on your age.
And the science here is nuanced enough that we really need to unpack it carefully, because the wrong takeaway could actually work against your health goals. So let's dig in.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. When most people hear protein, they think muscle, they think strength. They think eat more chicken breast and everything is fine.
Which is not wrong exactly. Protein is essential. It builds and repairs muscle tissue, supports immune function, keeps you satiated. The research on that is solid and has been for decades.
Right, it's not like protein is suddenly bad. This is more about, here's the thing though, the dose and the timing might need to change as we age.
Precisely. And this is where a researcher named Dr. Walter Longo comes in. He's the director of the Longevity Institute at USC. And his work published in Cell Metabolism back in 2014 was genuinely eye-opening.
What did he find?
His team analyzed data from over 6,000 adults and found that people aged 50 to 65 who ate high-protein diets had a 75% increased risk of dying from any cause, compared to those on low-protein diets. That is a striking number.
Okay, wait, that sounds absolutely terrifying for anyone currently chugging protein shakes.
Hold on though, because here is where the paradox kicks in. For adults over 65, the relationship flipped entirely. High protein was associated with lower mortality risk in that older group.
So the same nutrient, completely different effect depending on which side of 65 you're on? That is wild.
And the proposed mechanism involves a hormone called IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1. High protein intake raises IGF-1 levels, which in midlife appears to accelerate cellular aging and tumor growth risk.
But in older adults, IGF-1 helps preserve muscle mass, which is critical for avoiding falls, maintaining independence, all of that.
Exactly right. And the muscle loss issue in older adults, sarcopenia, is genuinely serious. Research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that after 60, adults can lose up to 1% of muscle mass per year if they are not actively working against it.
So we are not saying older adults should cut protein. We are saying younger and middle-aged adults might want to reconsider whether more is always better.
Right, let's unpack that a bit more. Because Longo's research also pointed to plant-based protein sources as behaving differently than animal protein in terms of IGF-1 response.
Oh, this is the part that got me because I was doing all whey protein, all animal sources. And apparently that distinction matters.
It does, according to the data. Plant proteins, from legumes, lentils, tofu, seem to trigger a lower IGF-1 response while still delivering solid amino acid profiles. Not identical to animal protein, but meaningful.
Y'all, I want to be really honest here. When I first read this, I pushed back hard because I had been told my whole adult life that animal protein is complete and plant protein is somehow lesser.
And I understand that reaction. But complete versus incomplete is actually more complicated than we were taught. With a varied diet, combining different plant sources gets you all essential amino acids over the course of a day.
Okay, but here's where I genuinely disagree with you a little, David. I think completely overhauling to plant protein is not realistic for most people in our audience, and I worry about overcorrecting.
That is a fair challenge, actually. And I think Longo himself would agree. His recommendation is not to eliminate animal protein, but to moderate it, with the sweet spot being roughly 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight for adults under 65.
Which, for a lot of us, is less than what the fitness industry has been pushing.
Considerably less, yes. The 1 gram per pound of body weight advice you see everywhere is largely built on research from bodybuilders, not longevity science.
Right, here's what I've learned since I started looking into this. Context matters so much. Are you optimizing for building muscle fast or for living well into your 80s?
And those goals are not always the same, which is genuinely worth sitting with for a moment.
Hey, if this kind of breakdown is useful to you, please do like and subscribe to the show. It genuinely helps us reach more people who need this kind of real, evidence-based conversation.
So let's bring this to the practical level. Because knowing the research is one thing, actually applying it is another, especially when you have a family to feed or a long workday.
This is where I want to talk about timing, because the research on protein distribution across meals is fascinating and actually pretty actionable.
Yes, this is the work from Dr. Stuart Phillips at McMaster University. His research suggests that spreading protein intake across meals rather than front or back loading improves muscle protein synthesis more efficiently.
So, instead of a small breakfast, a small lunch, and a giant protein dinner, which honestly describes most people I know, you want to aim for more even distribution.
Roughly 25 to 30 grams per meal seems to be the threshold where muscle protein synthesis is optimally triggered. Below that, you leave gains on the table. Above it, the excess is largely oxidized.
Okay, so for our listeners who are in that sandwich generation, juggling work, kids, maybe aging parents, this is actually good news. You do not need to eat an intimidating amount of protein. You just need to spread it more evenly.
And for our listeners over 65, the guidance genuinely shifts. More protein, quality sources, and pairing it with resistance exercise, even light resistance exercise, makes an enormous difference to outcomes.
From another angle, David, what about the kidney concern? Because I know some of our listeners have heard that high protein is hard on kidneys.
Right, so this is nuanced. For people with existing kidney disease or reduced kidney function, high protein intake is a legitimate concern. And that absolutely requires a conversation with their doctor. But for healthy kidneys, the current research, including a review published in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism, does not support the concern in otherwise healthy adults.
Good, I wanted to name that because it floats around a lot and causes real confusion.
Brilliant point. And one more layer worth adding, protein quality matters alongside quantity. Leucine, one of the essential amino acids, is particularly important for muscle protein synthesis. And sources like eggs, Greek yogurt, lentils, and edamame are excellent for it.
Y'all, I have genuinely started looking at my plate differently since researching this episode. Less obsession with hitting some big daily number, more attention to what I'm eating and when.
Which is honestly a more sustainable approach than aggressive tracking for most people.
And way less stressful, which, for wellness, counts for something. Okay, so if you are taking one thing from today, let it be this. Your protein needs are not fixed for life. They change with age, and the research from people like Valter Longo and Stuart Phillips gives us a really practical framework. Under 65, moderate your intake and shift toward more plant sources. Over 65, prioritize protein and pair it with movement.
And the distribution piece is genuinely underrated. Spreading protein across meals rather than loading it into one sitting is a low-effort, high-return adjustment that most people can make this week without overhauling anything dramatic.
I love that it is actually a simpler message once you cut through all the noise. Not more, not less, just smarter, and that feels very achievable.
Right, here's what I've learned from all of this. The wellness industry has a vested interest in selling you more of everything. The longevity science says something rather different. Worth knowing the difference.
As always, we are here as your informed friends, not your doctors. So take this to your GP or a registered dietitian if you want personalized guidance. And if you found this useful, please like and subscribe. It means the world to us and helps the show grow.
Until next time, eat the lentils.
Eat the lentils, y'all. Take care of yourselves. This show is part of the VoxCrea.ai system. If you want a show like this for your organization without building it yourself,
go to voxcreel.ai and request a sample episode.